1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go.
You're not gonna beat me.
Man, I'm not working hard enough.
This is the #1 chill spot on the internet. Look at this.
But it is really simple to change your life.
Y'all, we got a lot to talk about, but let me reflect right quick. I remember back in the day when I was in Los Angeles, I was working with Sean Kingston and I had a few days off and I wanted to connect with some other artists. And at the time, my favorite was Odd Future, you know, Tyler Creator and his crew. I just felt like the movement, the originality, everything they're doing was chef kisses.
Bleeding like a bat.
And, you know, I wanted to tap into that energy. I wanted to see if I could work with them. You know, I was just like, yo, this is something that's happening. And at the time, I was actually in the area where they hung out. It was on Fairfax, where they opened up the first Future store. So I decided to, you know, just hit one of them up on Twitter, because back in the day, that's how I really did all my networking, you know. Introvert, but it actually got me really far. I sent some of my work and I actually got like a message back within the same day or two. One of them was like, listen, you're good, but good isn't enough. And let me tell you, my soul was pierced in that moment. My heart was like so distraught. But I took a moment to reflect, you know, not take it personal. And I was like, you know what? He's actually right. They were operating on a whole other realm. The level of production or the ideas they were executing was a lot greater than what I was doing. You know, I was good. I was good enough. Even, you know, I'm traveling the world working with a platinum selling artist. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm doing my thing. But that 10% difference that brings you from good to great, I was still missing.
The thing is that people don't really realize what it takes to win, right? And it's like there's a great quote. Don Simpson, who was one of the original producers of the first Bad Boys, and we saw a screen and it was really good. And he said, you know, I said, you know, it's good. It's at about 90%, you know. And he said the great thing about being at 90% is at least you know you're halfway there.
Halfway,
right?
It's crazy.
And I was like, and that has turned out to be so true. The difference between 90% and 100% is lifetimes of difference. You might have to eat differently. Like you might have to change friends. You might have to study sleep.
Facts.
You know, to get from B's to A's. It's like the difference between good and great, it is underestimated by most humans. It's like if you want to be good, you can be talented and be good. You can wake up and be good. Like, that is such a hard thing to communicate to people, and it's even more difficult when people are talented. When people get a B easy.
They think they got it.
They think they got it, you know? And it's like, I'm telling you, it's like, it's not easy, but it is really simple to change your life.
Yo, Will spitting. Will is spitting. The difference between good and great is actually a lot more than many of us realize, but the payoff is also a lot more than we realize. Listen, we live in a time where like gatekeepers are withering away, you know, like we have opportunity and everyone has access to a lot of these same opportunities, more information, more resources. We're seeing in the creator economy itself, everybody is getting pretty good. 4K video quality, beautiful lighting. It's like the norm now. Good sound production, normal. Cinematic vlogs, normal. Funny stories. Dog, everybody on TikTok seems to have a funny story. I think they're lying a little bit, rage baiting even. We'll talk about that in another video. But it's abundant, and now that AI has come into the mix, it's making it even easier for everybody. 4 years ago, this wasn't the case, right? It just wasn't the case. Only a few had high level production. But now if you scroll reels, you will see a cool, beautiful video, one after another. That might even be discouraging for some of you that want to become creators or are creating online. And you're trying to find that thing that will separate yourself from the rest? But let me tell you, that thing does exist and it's in you. Think of creators like Andrew Schultz, a comedian, or Russ, musician, right? Russ put out a song every single week, fully produced, ready to go, at a time when nobody was doing that. Most artists were releasing like a couple songs a year. That quality, consistency, and quantity launched him into success. And then you have Andrew Schultz. And let me tell you, I've been listening to Andrew Schultz for like 10 years. I'm a loyal listener to the Brilliant Idiots podcast. It's actually one of the podcasts that inspired me to start to speak into a microphone. You understand? So I've watched this guy's journey for a very long time. And he literally ran the same recipe.
You were putting out a song a week.
Yeah.
And at that point in my life, I was like, man, I'm not working hard enough. This guy's putting a whole fucking song out a week. You got to write the music for it. You got to write the lyrics. You got to do it. And I could put a joke out a week, and I started doing that.
Every single week at a time when comedians weren't even doing that.
Nobody was doing that before Andrew Schultz. We come from the era where you didn't give your stand-up away.
Comedians have to preserve their jokes. Once you let a joke fly on the internet, you run the risk of people knowing the joke at your live show.
Yeah. That was your bread and butter.
But Andrew basically said, I'll let the joke go and I'll come up with a new one. Now, that sounds simple, but that means more experiences, more testing jokes, being more creative.
You know what kind of nuts it takes for you to put out clips? To say, yo, I'm gonna start giving away clips of my stand-up specials?
It's actually quite hard work. He went for quantity, consistency, and quality. Plus, I think he also noticed like a real gap in society because everyone was getting so sensitive. Everyone was scared to speak their mind. A lot of y'all, let me tell you, some people are a little bit too sensitive and take things online a little bit too seriously or believe anything that they hear. Y'all gotta stop that. And Andrew noticed a time where comedians were even getting canceled for jokes. So he decides to identify a void and fill it. And he gets real flagrant, says whatever he wants.
I can't wait for the day when trans women completely replace women and women's sports.
He tests the culture. He pops its safety bubble and he blows up. Blows up, absolutely blows out, selling out Madison Square Gardens back to back. And that's how he went from good to great. He penetrated and he completely transformed the online sphere, in my belief, for comedians. Now you see clips all over the place. But both of these guys, in my opinion, they found their angle, their edge, what made them different, what they could do that was different, and they went for that next 10%. Again, the difference between good and great seems like, oh, just a couple of extra steps. It's not. That's why the greats are greats. And now being good is like the new norm. Like good, I'm sorry, is just not enough. That is the harsh reality. That next 10% separates them from the rest. With those two examples, you can't even measure the gap that they created between them and other artists. Or even artists like Prince, you know, going back in the day. He would make an album a week, a song a day, nonstop, year after year. He created as if he was a professional athlete. Prince is a madman, you know? Like he has a whole vault of finished creation, not even just ideas, a whole vault of finished creations, you understand? He was constantly exercising his spirit. That is the difference between good and great. That is the difference between you and those who are highly successful or living the life that, let's be honest, success is measured very differently, right? You have to understand and figure out what success means to you. But if you are not happy with where you are or where you are going, you may be settling. You may be good, maybe you're average, maybe you think you're great, but if you move into a different environment, go into a different sphere, you're gonna recognize you're not. You're just good. And in this day and age, sorry, good is not enough. I feel like I'm going a little bit hard on us right now. So we're just gonna take a deep breath. Don't worry, we got a lesson here. Everyone faces an uncomfortable reality in society right now. The world is changing. Every industry is getting flipped upside down. People are going from making like 6 figures, enjoying their life, to, you know, having to sell their house due to economic shifts really out of their control. Everything is becoming more saturated, more competitive. AI is definitely going to shake things up. Y'all, let me tell you, y'all influencers out there, people out there, like every industry, AI going to shake some things up.
Humans will not be able to compete with AI humans.
At all.
Nope, they're gonna be cheap. I'd rather pay an influencer that looks just like you, that has just as many followers as you. I mean, there's real pressure coming.
Some creative jobs maybe will go away, but maybe they shouldn't have been there in the first place.
We can move with it, we can work with it. Don't worry, this is the #1 chill spot on the internet where we learn how to pivot, be resilient. We're also gentle with ourselves, you understand? We give ourselves a lot of grace. And we develop a consciousness that can move through any challenge. Actually, we celebrate the challenges over here, you know? That's what we do at the #1 chill spot on the internet in hindsight. These challenges, all of this is actually kind of cool. That's what I love about being an entrepreneur or just life in itself. Even if you work for somebody, you got to be great. Your job might get wiped out. You want to get promoted, you got to be better than others. You want to shift into a different company or a different industry, your sword needs to be sharp, right? But I love that we need to be creative. I love that we need to do something different. I love that we need to pivot, change the game, change the culture. There are no more rules, and we get to determine the rules. You know, every so often our backs will be pushed against the wall. And a lot of us freak out and we worry because we've moved out of our comfort, safe space. But these are the spaces where we thrive, I'm telling you. And you get to decide if you're going to be good enough or if you're gonna go be fucking great. You understand?
It's not easy, but it is really simple to change your life. It's so simple. People don't realize that one bad night fucks up 10. You can't get drunk and not work out on Saturday. You mess up 10 days. It's like the level of sharpness and discipline that it takes to get to the heights that you dream of is really simple. It's just not easy.
Bars. I love this Will Smith, you know. I love the real, raw Will Smith just giving it to us how we need. Not the Will Smith that's just like, you know, being shamed by his wife or, you know, slapping people on stage. No, Will Smith has always been like one of my guys growing up. I loved how he was able to be like positive. You know, like I think he made an album, he never had a curse word. He's like the first rapper to win a Grammy. Like he's been around for so long, just doing his damn thing. Clearly he knows what he's talking about. And he is right. The way you live your life should revolve around your mission. Everyone has a mission in life. You have somewhat of an idea of what your life, what you want it to be like. And like I always say, like your life is a creative project in itself. So creating that life is your mission. And if this season you have a certain goal that you need to accomplish and you're about to go get drunk one night, knowing that hangover is going to take you out for 4 days. I don't know about y'all, but if I drink like that, I'm out. You understand? I cannot afford that, you know? If you're about to do anything where you're really questioning if you should, ask yourself, does this move me towards my mission or does it set me back? That's the dedication and the devotion you need to have. Some of us are like, listen, I'm an artist, I'm a creative, I'm a creator, I'm doing this, but you really treat it like a hobby. And that's fine. If it's a hobby, say it's a hobby. But if you're trying to be a professional, you're gonna need structure, you're gonna need discipline, you still have to be creative, pour into yourself with experiences, pour back out into the world, make it a cycle. Our highest form of nutrition is in our expression, like the reminder deck says. This is my motto. Our highest form of nutrition is in our expression. Self-expression is food and nourishment for our spirit as food and water is for our body. What are you creating today? Prince made a song every day. What are you doing today to move the needle forward? Or are you setting yourself back? And then looking around questioning, oh, I'm not in the position that I want to be. And then not realizing, listen, things are getting harder. You have to be on your toes. You understand? Here at the #1 chill spot, we talk about grace and giving ourselves a lot of space, but sometimes we got to push ourselves into gear. And that's the season that we're in right now. If you're tuning in, we're on a similar frequency. We're going to do this together. You have everything that you need to succeed. It's already within you. The discipline, the confidence, the courage, the compassion, and grace. It's all in you. A lot of us, what we do is we come online, we consume all this information, all this inspiration. You don't need more motivation You need momentum. The information you need is going to be from your own process. You understand? Your own failures. Getting into action and seeing what happens is all you need for the next 3 months. More focus, more depth. What if you cared about the details that most people bypass, but you also got faster? What if you cultivated quality and speed? You know, we talk a lot about, you bloom with care, not speed. But once you know you're moving in the direction that matters, my friend, pick up the speed. That's what the greats do. And then you will find that you have a new pace, a new rhythm, one that once seemed so hard, it becomes your new normal. It becomes effortless. You're like Steph Curry, you bake cakes, you're whipping those cakes up easily. You understand? You inspire people on Instagram, you step in, you don't even think about what you're gonna say. It's already in you. You embody it in your life. You're a potter, you make pottery, you make cups, you whip in the work. The greats go deep into the process. Their craft is their devotion. The work, everything that they do aligns towards their mission. While the good will settle for, good enough. Doesn't mean we should be perfectionists and stop ourselves in our tracks, but we're knowing that we're always trying to grow. We're living at a time where there is so much art. It's beautiful. Videos, music, you name it. It's abundant. I remember back in the day when I got my first MP3 player, and you could put 20 songs on there, and I was like, this is amazing. I was like, I can go to school with 20 different songs. Because before that, you had CD players, those little Walkman CDs, and you had to listen to a full album or like a mix CD that you bought. But I was like, I could put 20. And now we literally have billions of songs in our pocket. But if you go online, sometimes a lot of stuff's the same, trends, copycat culture is at an all-time high because of TikTok. And people would rather see what's working and duplicate that instead of coming up with something that's new, like something so fresh and new is within you. And a lot of people don't realize like the depths it takes to like extract that, but they also don't realize the reward. It's crazy. I came across this new producer DJ called Berlioz. He's making big waves. And to my knowledge, he only has like 8 or 9 songs. That's it. But he's blending like classical, jazz, and house. And this is like a fresh new take. And his catalog is small, but the energy is there. And he's been able to generate 3 million monthly listeners, over 500,000 on IG, with a majority of his posts doing millions without his face even in it. Just cool 7-second animations with his music. And he's already touring the world, selling out shows. He found a gap, he found his edge, and he went all in for that next 10%. Normally it takes quite a long time to fill out a venue. He's already doing it. He went from good to great. But we don't know the amount of work he did behind the scenes to hit that moment, but he carved something out beautiful and is now reaping those rewards. And this is what you need to do. You need to push yourself past good. Good is not enough. A lot of people do little morning routine videos. A lot of people post a sexy picture. A lot of people do. What are you going to do that's going to be different? You understand? What is different within you? There is something deeply different about you. This is something that I am beyond passionate about. I get on Zoom calls every other week and support people and creators in their journey, because a lot of the times our biggest obstacle is ourselves. You are in your own way. And it just takes a perspective shift, a new consciousness. That's what we do over here in Hindsight, to implement into our day. And the next thing you know, we're transforming. And these calls are so nourishing. Like, we all leave feeling renewed and ready to take on the next week. If you are interested, you can check it out on my website, which is powered by our sponsor of the day, Squarespace. So whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content all in one place, all on your own terms. Yes, I created my own community so we can realize ourselves and elevate together, and I use the power of Squarespace to give you more information on my own website. What I like about Squarespace is They go from good to great. They're always evolving. They now have AI and SEO tools. You can start a completely personalized website with the new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. Choose from professionally curated layout and styling options to build a unique online presence from the ground up, tailored to your brand or business and optimized for every device. You can also easily launch your website and get discovered fast with integrated optimized SEO tools so you show up more often to more people and grow the way you want. For all the business owners out there, you can now give your customers flexible payment options. Make checkout seamless for your customers with simple but yet powerful payment tools. Accept credit cards, PayPal, and Apple Pay. And in eligible countries, customers have the option to buy now, pay later. And for those of you that struggle with filling your website with the necessary information, you can now use Squarespace AI to kickstart or update written content on any website. No more stressing what to say. You can generate instant personalized text, making it easier to go live, stand out, and succeed online. Listen, if you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your website or domain, go to squarespace.com/Heinz to save 10% off your first purchase. Okay, so what do we want you to do, and myself, because we're in this together, right? I want us to really focus on our mission, and not even just for the monetary success that is going to come, but for how it's truly going to feel, to know that you are tapping into all that potential and building a life that you're going to love. When I was in Japan just a few months ago, I noticed the standard of everything is higher. Like products, cafes, experiences, restaurants, everything is just better than the West. They created a culture of being great. They're known for it. The Japanese are known for making good things. And because they created this culture, others rise to that standard as well. So create a new culture for yourself, a new standard. Oh, you're good. People tell you you're good. You get, listen, forget about the praise and the blame. You understand? Some of us get attached. People cheer us on. They love us. So yeah, we think we're, no. There's more within you. Create a new culture for yourself, a new standard, a new level that becomes your new norm. Dig into the concept of Kaizen, Japanese philosophy. In Japan, do some research. Japan has some of the best philosophies around work. It's a principle that emphasizes continuous improvement, right? Identify areas for improvement and implement incremental changes. That's what being great is all about. Never settling. Because if you settle, you may have popped off in one season because it was spring. Things were working in your favor. The economy was good, but winter may be coming. You guys stay on your feet. How can I make this better? How can I improve? How can I improve my work environment? How can I get into another position if I'm not happy with where I am? If you are happy living the life and everything is perfect, hey, listen, you can turn the video off right now. But if you want to grow, you understand, and love the life that you are living and live the life that you love, continue to watch. Prioritizing practice and experimentation and not just running on a hamster wheel, rinsing yourself out on things that are average or good. A lot of us doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and we're not getting better. You don't have to get better in one giant step. It's the incremental steps, day by day. It's a journey. I went to this incense store in Japan and insane. I walk in, the environment is beautiful. The worker is matching the aesthetic as well. They had all these potions and scents on the walls and beautiful colors, snakeskin books with just millions and millions of different flavors you could go through. You can smell them. It was an experience. They went above and beyond. These are the actual incense right here. I know I don't even know the flavor of this one. Oh my. Insane, absolute, and no BS, when incense is BS? When you can just smell I have a radar for it. I can smell BS instantly. These are amazing. But did they have to go to those lengths? No, of course. I've seen so many incense stores or incense at stores just at the counter, average stuff, chemicals, all that. It's whatever. But they went above and beyond and did something that will be remembered. I will never forget this store. When I go back to Japan, I will go back to this store because it's great. It stands out. They created something that feels worth it. It feels timeless. And to me, necessary. I love going into a cool store or discovering a cool new product and being This is somebody's baby. This is somebody's dream. And you can feel when they put their all into it. And then they continue to evolve it as well, because there's always more within us. And that is what we want to do with our lives, right? Create a life that feels timeless, that is worth living. We're scrolling all day. We're eating the foods that aren't good for our mission. Then we're questioning our mental, and then we got the anxiety, but we're not even doing anything for our nervous system. And then we go online and we see everyone living their life, and you hear about people making $100,000 a month, and you have to discover yourself. Go that extra 10% and stand out. Not so you can be validated and seen by the world, but you get to validate and have that confidence in yourself. The joy is going to be deep in the details. The joy is going to be listen, when I go deep into the details, me and God, the Most High, we like this. We best friends, you understand? I feel it. Oh my God, the presence, I'm in that flow state. It's beautiful. That's how we become great. What you do has to be a source of devotion for you. It's where you go to enter that flow state, to explore curiosity, to journey, to learn about yourself, to master yourself, to build bridges with others, and then to share the fruits of your spirit with the world. That's the greatest service that you can do. Self-love is service. Don't worry, we almost done, but we got a little bit more, okay? It's very hard, I think, to be the best at something if you don't, one, have like a knack for it, but two, you don't love it. You don't have a passion for it, or at least a passion for life. You won't have the effort, the devotion. You know, I was always known for being a good videographer, you know, with great quality, color, all of it. But as society matured, my edge became almost the norm. You know, I still have my edge, but like videography, editing, it's normal. It's like a basic language now. Everyone can edit a video. So I had to think and find new angles. I also had to be real that I didn't have the same passion for editing films as I did when I first started, or as like a 18-year-old right now who's just starting and has all the access and information and resources that I did at that age. What took me 6 years to achieve in skills, people can do now in 2 years if they are focused, because there's that much more access to information. These are the realities we have to face in discovering our path. You have to find your thing, your edge, and that thing where you want to go, that extra 10% in, right? Some of us are doing things where we're all right with the good enough, but you may get washed away, you understand? And then what? Like Will said, that extra 10% will bring you from good to great. You'll stand out, you'll be a legend. That completely separates you from the rest. What gift do you have that you believe was hardwired into you that comes effortlessly, but you can also evolve and master it? Because there is one. Get in your journal, discover yourself, and remember, your life is a creative project in itself. You are building a life that you love, and then you're gonna love it while you live, because the destination is in every step. And your creative process is one of the greatest tools you have to discover and develop yourself. Go deep into it, like a form of prayer. Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna go that extra 10%? Yes, it's gonna be a lot more work, but the rewards as well. I'm gonna wait for you to go find out. Go get it.